Hello! The next few minutes of this video is going to be specifically talking about how we make sure that the plans that we have for our life and our business actually materialise. So if that's something of interest to you, listen up for the next few minutes. So the context to this is that I was at a conference only a week or so ago with all of my coach colleagues from around the UK. Now, one of the things that really struck me was on two occasions, two exceptionally talented coaches pretty much started their presentations in much the same way. And what they both did was they shared a screenshot of their typical calendar that they operate to on a week-to-week basis. And the way that both of them, in their own way, effectively framed that opening was, look, this is the calendar that I need to be operating to if I want my business, my life to turn out the way I plan it. And it was a really interesting way to start. And again, it really just helped me focus my thoughts around, okay, so how do I just get even better at planning out what it is that I want and also how I then make it happen? Because one of the analogies that I've always drawn with my clients around the whole idea of goal setting and planning and getting some good habits into our life is the old Russian doll analogy. Because effectively, we all hopefully know what this looks like. We've got a number of dolls that effectively are the subset of the big one. This represents the destination or what we're aiming for in the longer term, maybe the 3, the 5, the 10-year goal. That's what that would be. And everything that sits inside it becomes the subset, right down to the small Russian doll, which of course is what are the things that we do on a day-to-day, a minute-to-minute, hour-to-hour, day-to-day basis. Because if we can't get that bit right, the chances of this thing happening, certainly in the time frames that we're planning, chances are it won't happen. So we need to really focus on the small things that we're doing. So how we go about putting our diary together is really important. Now, I coach my clients on a thing called the default diary. I'm looking to just change the name of that, and it's probably just a sort of subtle change, but it's an important one, to a dream diary. Because if you think about it, this stuff here, that's the dreams. That's what we're aiming for. In order to make these things happen, we need to get the dream diary in place. So, what would be the key elements of the dream or default diary? Well, there are seven key areas that we need to focus on within our business. Okay, the first 4 that I'm going to share with you are in red, and the last 3 are in green. So this is business, this is personal. In the simplest of terms, the core activities that we have for our business are to get clients. That's sales and marketing. Then we have to keep clients. That's the operational delivery of what it is our business does. In my case, it's coaching. Then we have to build clients, because on the basis that we've done good work and we've added value to people's lives, then yes, we should actually be invoicing people for what we've done. And then there's the team need to be taken care of. We need to make sure that there's enough time dedicated towards focusing, directing, supporting, encouraging the team. Those are the 4 things. Then, of course, what we need to be making sure we plan for, and again, oftentimes this stuff here encroaches too much into this stuff here, but have we got enough time with our family? Are we building in time to have healthy body and mind, so health time, and then also personal development. Again, on the basis that the more we learn, the more we earn, we've got to become a better person each and every day. And that's not saying that we're a bad person today, it just says we could be so much better as we can continue to evolve through personal development. So, those are the 7 things that we would need to take account of in our working week. So how might that look? Again, this is a very kind of broad view, if you like, of the diary that I choose to operate to help me nail my plan. And again, I'm just looking at the working week, Monday to Friday. I'm not going to discuss Saturday, Sundays for the purpose of this video. But effectively, I've just taken a 6 AM to 6 PM day, when it starts, when it finishes, and really trying to give you at least an idea as to how that might look. Yours is going to look different, of course it is, but this is how my one goes. Again, I want to try and stimulate some thinking in your mind to say, am I managing to actually get sufficient time devoted to the important things? So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you'll find me in the gym. That's kind of health time. Tuesday, Thursdays, again, I'm going to make sure that I'm opening up a book and listening to some stuff and learning some stuff. Now, that's not saying I don't do that in the gym, because again, into the ears goes Audible, and I'm starting to really leverage my time by exercising whilst on the treadmill at the same time as learning. So I find that works for me. Again, Monday mornings are much about team time. So again, the people that are helping me in my business, I want to make sure that we've got sufficient time allocated for those people. And then in the afternoon, sales and marketing. I try as best I can to protect that time so that I can do the types of tasks that are required to ensure that we're constantly kind of bringing new business into the practice. And then of course, come 6 o'clock, we're into family time and everything that involves. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I've got it down as ops. So in my view, that's coaching sessions with clients. So it's pretty much exclusively for that purpose. And then I have on a Friday, sales and marketing time as well. Again, making sure that I've got time carved out to run seminars, to run workshops, to meet with my network, my connections, to help, help with introductions for some of my network, and they do that for me too. And then at the end of the week, I tend to hive off some time just at the end for the invoicing, any kind of admin that needs to be done within the business, just to make sure that we're constantly on top of things. So that's how I tend to look at my working week. It's chunked out fairly neatly. To a large extent, that's what happens. Doesn't always happen. Stuff happens, of course, that will kind of knock that off. But by default, this is the calendar that I'm working to pretty much on a weekly basis. And it works for me. The important thing is what works for you. What's the calendar? Again, I'd start with a blank sheet of paper and start mapping this out at the broadest of levels. You can start to then get a little bit more detailed within each section. So, one-to-ones with particular people or types of meetings that you have within the team block. But again, making sure that at a high level you plan it out and then get to the finer detail as you get to your Outlook or your Gmail or whatever calendar you use. So, I hope that's been helpful. This is the thing that, this is this kind of stuff here. This is the small stuff that we need to be planning, because if we don't do this and do this well, then this kind of stuff is unlikely to ever happen. So, good luck with nailing these Russian dolls, and if you need any help at all with any of this stuff, then give me a shout. I'm happy to help in whatever way you feel would be appropriate. Okay? Until we meet, good luck in business.